And that's what really blew my mind about the storytelling in Half-Life. So I was talking to Joel Berry on Twitter of the Babylon Bee fame, and he mentioned that Valve Software has released a documentary about the making of Half-Life 1. Apparently it is the 25th anniversary of that game's release, and so they've made a documentary getting all the old folks back together that made it. I say old folks, but technically I'm an old folk too. Now I'm a big fan of Valve Software, at least in terms of their single player games. I played Half-Life 1, 2, the additional episodes of Half-Life, played both of the Portal games, and to me those are really sort of the high watermark of great storytelling in a video game. Probably the best examples of storytelling in a video game that we've ever seen. Why do I say that? Well, compare Half-Life 1 to other PC games that were coming out at the time. The story was told to you through a cutscene or through blocks of text, and you'd have to stop and read them. Otherwise, you really wouldn't know what the story was. But Valve Software did something very different with Half-Life, and that was they tell you the story subtly as you progress through the game, through the world building. And that's what really blew my mind about the storytelling. If you're not paying attention, or you don't care to take the time to pay attention, you may not even fully realize how much story there is. But there's so many bits and pieces that they put into it to make it feel like a real place, and that there's a real progression of events happening. That's what gives the illusion of a story. And so in a sense, it's all in the mind of the player. Mark Laidlaw even commented, he was the writer on the game, he made a comment in the documentary, something about how there were elements that they don't even know. He doesn't know. Since the world of the game exists in this sort of underground secret military lab, it fits right into that conspiracy theory mindset where he could lay out bits of information and the players would begin to connect them in interesting ways. For one example, they talked about the voice actor who did both Barney and he also did the voice of the G-Man. And when they were asking him to come up with something new for the G-Man, he started doing what they described, I think, as a lizard voice. Now, what's intriguing to me about that is they said, "Oh, that's cool, do that." But that was it. Now, as players, we packed a lot of meaning into the cadence of the speech of the G-Man. In fact, I'm pretty sure, my theory, or maybe I got it online, was that the G-Man is not human. He's actually alien who has learned or is taken on human speech, in order to communicate with Gordon. And that's why his speech is weird. Well, that's a lot of backstory that Mark Laidlaw, the other designers of Half-Life, didn't write, but they left enough breadcrumbs out that we as consumers could enjoy it and begin to build meaning into it and, in a sense, give it depth that it really doesn't even have. And so I'd say that Half-Life, the other Half-Life games, Half-Life 2, the episodes, both of the Portal games, all of them do this really well, where they lay out breadcrumbs in world building and allow the player to find the story in connecting those breadcrumbs. Brilliant storytelling. Really love it.